As I suspected, 32 flavors.
Holy shit. The humans are all up in here. We got the Big Lebowski himself, Bruce Lombardo, Lord Thoth. Macklin made it? Yeah, you did make it. Good for you. Happy you're here. Drinking my tea before my tequila. Nice to see all you guys all up in here in the chat. Phantom Outsider, what's up, what's up? Nice to see you. All right, so this tonight's Toxic Tuesday. This is normie territory for me. This is pure normie. And I was like, it's weird because usually, like, most of these movies I've seen, or at least I had seen at some point, but this was like the freshest memory. I'm like, whoa, how did I slip through this one? It just happens, you know. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. But luckily, an Amazon rental helped out with that, and the rest, as you say, was history. So I'm going to bring in our fine panel of human dudes. We got that co-host, Mad Mardigan, who just hates being here, but somehow he reduces himself to being here. So, hi, Mad.
You've rented this movie?
On Amazon.
It's on Netflix.
I don't have Netflix.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know why I do either. It's like only because like this. And like, you know what I mean? Like I can't remember the last thing I watched on Netflix, but hello.
Hello to you, sir. So what's going on, Mad Mardigan world?
Just loving this movie. It's so good. And the production alone should be a movie. There was a riot. There was almost a riot.
No, what? Okay. We'll have to talk about that. That's freaking awesome. Killer. All right. And then joining for the first time here on Toxic Tuesday, Mr. Brightest Day. What's up, dude?
What's going on, gentlemen? Ready to get toxic?
Oh, absolutely. I've been waiting for the moment. It's
I don't
glorious.
think you'll ever stop being toxic, Nick. That's what I love about you.
Happy to have you on, dude. It's about time. You're always in the chats, hanging out, modding. It's just like, I gotta get this son of a bitch on here just to contribute some conversation and get toxic with us. So if anything, this is what makes sense in life. So thank you for joining us. This is great. This is a great panel of dudes. And of course, another fine gentleman here, first time on Toxic Tuesday. He may or may not respond, but as a man, I work around his flexibility, Mr. Draco, aka Mither. How are you, sir?
Doing well, thank you, sir. And I was led to believe that the toxicity here would be constant, consistent, and nothing stopping it.
Hey, dude, thank you for joining. I know, obviously, with your craziness in life, I know your contributions will be seldom, but whenever they happen, they're greatly appreciated. So I'm thankful that you can come on. So ready to roll with this, dude. It's been a while.
Sir.
Awesome. And of course, returning to Toxic Tuesday just from last week, Mr. CLOBBERIN Times.
Hey, buddies. Hello there, my toxic friends. Looking forward to this. I've loved this film since I saw it for the first time in 1991 at the theater.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 91.
You took your kids to go see it, right?
No, not that. I did not take them. They were a little bit on the young side.
So was the daughter, and God, did she turn out nice.
Yeah. Love it,
right. But Bobby's not going to take his kids to see Halle Berry's body double dancing to Get Off.
I guess I'm just an old prude.
Oh, all right. And another fine return here, Mr. Marc D with a C.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh.
Great to be here.
Happy to have you here once more.
So I did not take my Boy Scout troop to see this movie. So I'm here. I'm not officially representing the BSA of America. I don't know if I'm the only scout master here, but this movie was toxic. I recommend none of my scout troop see this movie until they're 18.
You weren't ready to turn them into man scouts?
Oh, that's not how they turned me into a man scout.
We don't need to hear that story.
It was a different process altogether.
Oh, it
was nice being on this panel. Yeah. See you later.
And also arriving in, TZ Canadian, Stephen Naughton. I see you all over there. What's up? Nice to see you guys. All right, well, I guess I'll lead off. I'm not usually one to lead off. So as a normie, as far as this movie is concerned. I was blown away by how explosive everything was. You could have swore, like, even though it was a Shane Black film, it had the Michael Bay explosions before the Bayisms were, I guess, a mainstream thing. It was just funny because the deaths were super intense too. And dude, what a pairing, Willis and Wayne's together. Like, you got the football player who had the crime history. You got Willis is such, I would say he rivals John McClane in terms of badassery in this movie. I truly feel like he may have been even more so in this one in some regards, because especially like he just needs a cigarette for everything he does.
Yeah, it's very much the same character. He's got that stoic, give no craps about anything attitude that just has this moral code he can't shake. And just everything seems to fall away from him.
I think he's turned up like 10 well, because in Die Hard, the first Die Hard, right? Because this is after the first Die Hard. Yes. He wasn't the Die Hard 3 down on his luck bum guy, right? Yeah, he was just a cop, just like him and his wife were having problems, went to go visit her. This Joe, him playing Joe is bottom rung, and this was like the best depiction of that whole down on his luck, you know what I mean, just waiting to die but still functionable. Like, I think it was a great well,
there's the thing, he was not, as a matter of fact, when I first saw Die Hard with a Vengeance and a few years after
go ahead, Clobbering.
I loved the first two Die Hard films, of course, and I'm a big Die Hard fan. When I saw it, I did end up, that movie grew on me later, but my first reaction was, because Joe Hallenbeck is very different from John McClane. And I thought, wait a minute, he's not John McClane anymore. In this movie, he's Joe Hallenbeck. What in the hell happened? I like the film, don't get me wrong, but at the time I was like a little aggravated by it. Like, John McClane's a good family man. When he's out there, he's a no-nonsense cop. The drunk act, all that other stuff was straight out of Joe Hallenbeck, which was kind of a strange turn and a strange idea for that film. So I don't know if that was influenced John McTiernan when he made Die Hard with a Vengeance. Well, I don't know.
I think it works because, like, if you look at John McClane, like, after everything he's gone through, it makes sense that he's just done with life. Because
I don't know. The last time we saw him, he was pretty happy at the end of Die Hard 2. So I don't know why they did that.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I can, because I didn't want to be completely disconnected from this, but I did have to look up some. So I was looking at some of the things that were said about it, reminding myself of where that came from. And it was an issue that was brought up about Bruce Willis. Beyond things that we'll probably get to talk about later, Bruce Willis did not want to play, he did not want this movie to be a rehash of what he had already done in Die Hard. He wanted it to be different. Now, you could guess as to whether he was the one who was behind it, because there's a lot of issues that were brought up, that are brought up about how things didn't go well behind the scenes. But the thing is that one of the things that you get down to with this toxic movie is you got a whole bunch of just alpha males behind the scenes doing what they want to do, and making this movie crazy and whatnot. And one of the things that did come up was that Bruce Willis did not want to, at least he did not want to finish this movie the same way he finished the other movie, and he was throwing his weight around and doing like that. So I think he was choosing his character, shall we say, to, at least from the point of view of this movie before we ever get to Die Hard with a Vengeance, he was choosing to play this character, whatever Shane Black had created and whatever he wanted to mutate to his own designs, as this noirish, gritty, die hard, I'm going to die anyway cop. I don't care, but I'm going to still do things the right way, and so on.
This movie was actually called Die Hard, and then Shane Black liked the name, so they pulled the name and put it on the
director
on Die Hard.
Joel Silver, the director of Die Hard.
Yeah.
Or so, Joel Silver, you're right. Yeah, the producer.
But this movie just starts off toxic. I mean, the first couple of lines are like,
the opening music. I love the opening.
Well, that opening song is awesome, right?
Friday night to drink my football.
So by the way, Friday night is not good for football ratings. Everyone's out doing things. Yeah. I love that song.
it killed Star Trek, right? But then, like, they find him in the car, and then in the script, I was reading the script. It's like they said the kids are like, "Oh, I know where there's a dead squirrel." So then, like, when he wakes up, he's like, "I think I think I fucked a squirrel to death. I don't even remember it." It's like, it's like. And like every line is toxic in this movie. It's like, the 3-finger scale, It's like I cut off 3 of my fingers to bleep her.
The finger scale, yeah.
And he's like, what about one on your nose? Improve your looks or whatever. But like the writing of this is so good. And then I think he got paid like 1.7 million or something ridiculous.
Yeah,
he did a
script like it was a Russian record. More money than was ever paid at that particular time in history.
Yep.
Wow! All right, before we go on, Mr. Stephen Naughton for $3.99 says, "Hail, Nick Weiser, Mad, Brightest Day, Mither, Clobby, Marc D, Wrenches, and Chat. First saw The Last Boy Scout in the theater just after graduating high school. Man, that is pure toxicity, straight out of high school. Thank you, Stephen Naughton. All right,
years right there.
So all right, dude."
Sorry, we kind of skipped over the whole part where we go over how everybody first saw it.
Yeah. No, it's okay. That was the best time we went off the rails ever. That was one of that was totally worth it. But no, it's fine. I was just seeing this movie, fresh and new thing. I love the chemistry. Even the daughter is entertaining too. She was basically her dad, which is hilarious. Yeah. Yeah. But those are your favorite flavor. He tosses it.
Yeah. I hate to waste food.
Oh, how does he make a line like that sound toxic?
There's so many attempts at one-liners in this movie that don't turn into good one-liners. It's just like, we'll throw this line out there and see if it sticks. And it's funny for a second, but it's like there's no like catchphrase in it. But everything
doesn't need one. No. In fact, it makes fun of the whole catchphrase thing at the end. It's like,
within like the first 5 minutes, when you've got Billy Blanks doing the old "Hey, how do you do?" He's like, "Ain't life a bitch?" First 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Originally, it was supposed to be "I'm going to Disney World."
Yeah.
Because football players always say that, but I like "Ain't life a bitch" better. Yeah. By the way, I don't know if like what his thinking was, because like that touchdown is not going to count at all.
I thought that was probably the greatest.
Now you just wait, gentlemen. If you're going to talk about this movie, we are not going to think about it. We are not going to think too deeply into anything about this movie because you'll just take away from it. Just let it flow. Let the misogyny flow over you, the toxicity.
Look, I only bring it up because the first time I watched it, every time I'm like, he knows this isn't going to count. That is like at least 3 penalties. Like I don't. It's just the first thing I think of every time I see it.
That's true. The only person who could ever get away with shooting the opponent in the field is Tom Brady.
Hey, is that? Wait a minute.
Well, you also bring that up, but the fact is that he was threatened to do this by threatening that he was going to be killed for it, and he kills himself. So, well, that.
Well, see, now that's going too deep.
It was PCP.
Yeah. So I was just going to give him.
Well, you bring that up, and I'm going like, we're not even on that level.
This guy is running with a football in his hand on PCP, and he's nailing point blank shots in guys that you'd, like never be able to do. That was impressive. Kudos to the points.
I love how like things. I was like he sets up things and shit. Just like when they're at the car. And the guy's like, "Yeah, get rid of the gun." And also, he tosses his thing out. And the car explodes. The truck explodes. Pop it open. I can't do it. And everything explodes. Like, holy shit! Like, this guy knows how to do some shit. So,
usually, and that was cool too, because usually you got to shave points when you're, with the mobsters, right? So they actually want them to score more points. So I guess it was they were betting on the over/under or something. There, usually it goes the other way.
Yeah. Well, they needed to cover the point spread.
Right.
That's probably what they're.
Just telling one guy he better score touchdowns isn't going to do anything. Go. What if he can't?
Well, yeah, because in football, it's so reliant upon the offensive line as well. Like, they need to block and that's even if they're being, if the call is even a running play. Like, there's a lot of factors. Like, this is a basketball thing. Sure, you can tell a basketball player, hey, you need to stop scoring. You need this. You know what I mean? That would make sense. But to tell a running back, this poor guy, like no wonder. Like, there's no out for this guy. Yeah,
you better score touchdowns, pal. Well, come block for me then.
Yeah, right.
All right, Draco. Tell us about your initial first thoughts of when you saw this excellent movie that is The Last Boy Scout.
This was one that was not properly marketed to me. I never actually saw it in the theater. This
Okay.
was one that I picked up. It was one of those things because what was the thing about the 90s? It was the home video market.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked up this movie, and the first time I saw this movie, I mean, I had seen this. That's in the same vein of, or I consider it in the same vein as Hudson Hawk, which I know probably less people like because of various issues with that movie, another Bruce Willis movie, and it didn't do very well at all. But it was after it, and I was thinking, I'm going to go see this because I kind of like that, and I like Bruce Willis, and I'm going to see Bruce Willis movies, whatever. But seeing this, it was so violent. It was so off of the wall. And, I mean, after coming from the cartoonish level of the production of Hudson Hawk, this one was just an all-out, like, what would you say, liquor-fueled trip to destruction and mayhem, blood-soaked. I mean, even the daughter in the movie, I'm going like, man, this. I don't know how old. I didn't know how old the actress Danielle was when she played this thing, but I'm like, man, she's just as hardcore as he is. How perfect!
Oh, I know. and she's actually likable.
I loved it from the beginning. And it was like, I'm surprised I didn't hear more about this. But
all right, awesome. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. All right, Brightest Day. Initial thoughts. Time, when, where, how. You know how this works.
So it's today, Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
You asked me about this on Sunday.
Yes.
I had not seen this movie. I was 6 when this came out. So, and this, it went under my radar. You know, it wasn't the diehards. It wasn't the Lethal Weapons. It just, I'd never, I had heard of this. I had heard of Hudson Hawk. I just never watched it. And I sat down and watched, like, this is 90s, pure and simple, all over again. Like, this is everything you expect from everything out of this era. And then to read some of the stuff about it after the fact, like you were talking about how these two gentlemen kind of, played buddy cop in this movie, but they fucking hated
they did.
And I'm not surprised at all. Like, they definitely seem like they would not mesh at all. But given that they play the role pretty well, that they probably used some of that to throw in the jabs they throw at each other throughout the movie. And there's so much that, like, you get a line here that pays off so much later in the movie. There was a lot of that. You would blink and miss it. So it was actually really well done.
That's Shane Black, baby.
Yeah.
Like, by the way, it wasn't just them that everyone hated everyone. Tony Scott hated Joe Silver. Joe Silver, you know what I mean? Like, everybody hated everyone. And it actually made me think of the new Batman with what's his name? Robert Pattinson, right?
Yeah,
because him and the director has been rumored for a long time. Like, they hate each other, and I actually think that's good. I think if they can use that conflict and put it on screen, you get things like this. It may not make sense in the moment, but once you see the finished product, it actually can turn out to be something really great.
Oh yeah, absolutely possible. Usually, clashing sometimes does make for good shit. That's just usually historically how it goes. I agree.
I want to throw this something in there to think about too, since you bring that up. I tend to think this movie was saved in the edit because it was a shit show right to the end.
Yeah.
No.
They brought in an editor who really saved it because, real quick. So I think, with Shane Black, they changed the entire third act because in his original script, everything was supposed to be a lot darker or like more violent, and the third was all water based. Like boats and shit, but so they changed a lot about it. But I think, at least for the first act, it's almost all Shane Black, and it has such a neo-noir tone to it. Just you know what I mean? Like you have Bruce as the private eye, and you have the femme fatale, coming in to give him the case or whatever. Fatat, is that it?
Fatale.
It doesn't matter. Fatat. So you have the femme fatat come in with her bullshit, right? But seriously though, okay, I miss it. But I'm what I'm saying is actually pretty true. Like It has a very noir feel to it, and I think
it does. Yeah,
but
Yeah,
then
now
it
you put that
morphs into a buddy cop comedy, and works well. But I really would have liked to have seen Shane Black's like full vision for that darker noir kind of take on the movie.
Mm-hmm. No,
You like the violence. I think it would have had more of it.
Bryce, I think you had more you wanted to add to it. Have at it.
No, we covered it pretty good. I got a lot of stuff we can hold off until later.
Okay, cool. No, all right. Well, Clobby, why don't you have a go?
Well, like I said, I saw it in the theater in 1991 when it first hit, and a few times, I think. And again, at first I was taken aback. I'm like, okay, he's not John McClane, but I'm glad of that. It doesn't need to be that same character. So I was already such a big fan of the Die Hard films and of Willis that there was no way I wouldn't go see something like that. Wayans was used at the time, of course. And it's just a dopey, fun action film that is amazing. But what I just saw what Mark put up there with the Ebert's
let me dig
review.
Yeah, right here.
I liked Ebert and all that stuff. What in the hell in this film? You can say what you want. We joke about toxicity and all this kind of crap. What was vilely misogynistic in this film? What?
Well, the pool scene.
What pool scene? Why is it
which one? Which pool scene?
In the
There's a few. There's a few.
Well, at the
pool
beginning
scenes.
with the lineman.
I know, but I don't see why it's misogynistic. One jerk is doing something bad.
Well,
to a woman
I guess that's what they would consider. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
because he's
She didn't drown.
Right, and Wayman saved her, but I mean that kind of stuff happens. The movie's misogynistic because you portray something that happens at a league party. It's just idiotic, Roger. I mean, you know, I don't know, but he was like that back then.
And the scene in the strip club.
That's not misogynistic.
Early, you start early on in the movie, like first half hour, I think. First half hour.
Yeah.
So
Because you're talking about full grade film critics, so they're going to talk about things like anything that objectivizes a woman or things like that. And once it plays on into it's only a man's. I mean, the thing is, you could take the fact that Danielle, the daughter, was with it through them from the beginning, and she is integral to the plot in a couple of points.
Yeah,
that at least you have a girl in it. But the thing is that I'm certain that a Hollywood average critic, even Ebert and Siskel and Ebert, would look at this and say, yeah, misogyny and so on. So they would do it in the 90s version of it.
Well, I know, but it's ridiculous because there are all kind of horrible things happening to men too. That's why I hate that kind of crap. Like, bad things is a story.
Oh yeah,
bad
good
things
point,
are happening to
Bobby.
people.
I see what you're getting at now.
In other words, it's a story where bad things are happening to everybody. So bad things happen to in your story. You can't do a story. You can't show horrible things. Bad people doing bad things to people, and that's why I hate that kind of. And even back then, we weren't in the SAW era by any stretch, but there were still idiots like Ebert and Siskel, which I like the show and everything. They used to do this kind of crap all the time. And I'm like, so I can't tell a story where someone does something bad to someone. Oh, what about all the men being blown up by bombs and being shot and you know, all that stuff? That's fine. That's not misandrous.
At least they're not being sexualized while they're doing it. If they were actually sexualized while they were doing it, well, that would make it also.
Hey, if they got bombed, at least they could have been inclusive while they were being bombed. Inclusive bombings.
Well, again, he joked the sexualization he didn't mention being sexualized, but those guys like some pretty sleazy stuff. They gave some there are a lot of these arty-farty films that were with lots of nudity and sex and all that kind of stuff. They never said that stuff about it. No, because this is an action film, then they go after it. They were idiots.
Yeah. I mean, his primary problems were, again, the pool scene. What happens to Halle Berry's character? I don't know if we can just talk about what happens in the movie or if we care about spoilers.
Yeah.
No, look, we're going all in here, dude.
You got 30 years to watch it or more, right? So yeah.
So the way Halle Berry's character gets offed, like really unceremoniously, and the way she's just treated as like a second-rate character, and then everything.
Because she was
daughter.
But she was.
Is, I'm just saying.
She was a stripper.
I'm just saying these were his problems with it. I'm not saying I know his opinion on it. But and then how everything that the way the daughter was treated and how the daughter acted and everything that was done to the daughter later on in the movie was just those are the things he harped on as far as that goes. I mean, I thought the daughter was one of the better parts of the movie.
That shows
she kicked ass, especially when she's talking to Wayne.
She was great.
Yeah, this scene right here, where I got highlighted from Phantom Outsider, I felt the weight of that scene when she was talking to Wayne's. She's like, yeah, my dad was a big fan of you. You said you were the best in the game. And then, that whole incident happened and they stopped watching football. I immediately felt, I'm like, damn. And it shows you, even though a lot of action movies are big, blow them up, shoot them out, these movies at times do have really, heartfelt moments. And this was one of them in this particular movie. But anyways, yeah, go on.
I was going to say that he, again, it just shows how silly these the people like that were even back then. Like, if this is a character, this sexualized had been a man, it would have been okay. And so he's being the misogynist by holding, giving a different standard to the female characters.
Look, we could talk about that all the time. I think we should really get back to talking about this movie. This movie's great.
Oh, I'm sorry, Matt. I didn't mean to offend you.
No, it wasn't offensive. Like, you know me. I was mad at how many women they had in the movie to begin with. I'm like, less women.
I was trying to act in the moment, like, the way Hal and Beck and Jimmy talk to each other.
All right. So 2 things here. Mr. Wadsworth coming in with $10. Said,
wow.
A little bit drunk on some homemade meat tonight. Holy shit. Feeling good, sharing the love. Keep doing your thing, brother. Well, thank you, Wadsworth. Appreciate that. We got to welcome a certain That 70s Rock fan to the panel. What's up, 70s?
Well, good evening, gentlemen.
Welcome,
good evening,
welcome.
Nick. Thank you for inviting me here to talk about Hudson Hawk, which is a great movie. That's what we're talking about, isn't it?
That's not toxic enough.
It's not toxic at all.
Sure it is. Yes, we're talking about Hudson Hawk, aren't we, guys? Yes, that's what we're on right now.
It's a terrible Nintendo game.
Hey, 70s, I can guarantee you we're never going to talk about a musical on this fucking show. Unless it's
West Side
Cats.
Story?
No, unless it's Cats. But the butthole cut. It has to be the butthole cut. No, it has to be the butthole cut.
All right,
genetic opera.
Mr. co-host, Mad Mardigan, to you.
The co-host is there.
Yeah. The floor is yours.
I remember seeing this way too young. I was way too young when I saw it. Like, I mean, when it came out on VHS, I'm pretty sure I saw it when it came out. So I was like 7, maybe 8, because it took forever for these things to come out on VHS. But I remember, all right. So the thing that always stuck with me was the helicopter scene, which is one of the greatest deaths in all of cinema history. Period. I will fight you on that. And why does Nick look at me like I'm crazy?
No, I'm curious. I want to hear why. I want you to elaborate. You got my attention.
Why?
Go on.
The dude fell into the propeller of the helicopter. What do I got to explain here?
Okay, no. I'm curious.
You could see.
Like I said, don't think about it. It was wonderfully gory and terrible and crazy, but don't think about it.
Pretty sure that's what would happen, bro, if you fell into a helicopter.
What was the
He
helicopter's
fell off
motivation?
the lights over the. He fell off the lights over the.
Big turbine engine, I think, is what motivates the propellers. Is
Think
The
about where the
helicopter wanted to
helicopter
stay
is.
flying. That's what his motivation was. Yeah, it's like, screw this guy. I'm going to keep spinning my blades.
I especially love the choreography and the chase scene later in the movie where both cars go over the hill exactly the same time. They just bounce, and then one of them slams right into a tree, and all the characters live just fine, and then just get up. But yeah, great choreography on that.
Yeah,
nice
bro.
downhill chase
The
scene.
tree.
Yeah.
Wait, there's not trees in the real world? I'm not going to defend this movie's logic.
No, you can't do that. No logic, but yeah.
Oh, they just slid up into the tree. Wasn't so
Yeah,
bad.
just gently with a crash.
I drive like that in Fortnite all the time. Works fine.
You know how thick that tree was? It looked like an oak to me. Oaks are known for being soft. It's basically the
You gotta stop
catcher's
that kind of
mitt.
talk, or Stephen
No.
Walton's going to come into the panel, and we're not going to be able to handle that right now.
An oak tree is basically the catcher mitt of trees. So when a car crashes into it, it's basically just being
Oaks
tossed
are
on a mattress.
Oaks are traditionally described as the fluffy tree.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, Mr. Marc D with a C, You know what to do, sir.
I know what to do. Yep.
Talk.
So this movie, I don't think I went to see it when it was in theaters, but I definitely remember watching on, good old SD VHS. So you probably, miss half the first, parts of the movie when the first time you see it. But I was like, holy shit, I don't believe what I'm seeing. I should have gone to see this in the movie theater. Same way I missed Die Hard. I never went to see Die Hard, which is another regret. I didn't see that till it was on rental. But like this movie, we're talking about the opening. It just starts. It's so, the character, he's so, it's like you think he's got no family. You think he's a washed up bum by the way the movie
that's what I thought he was going to be.
Yeah, and then I'm like, wait, he's got a wife and he's got a kid that's swearing at him and yelling at him. And then the wife, obviously, I love that scene where he's gonna, he's gonna blow away. He shows he's a detective. He's smart. Like, hey, look, the toilet seat is up. I've been away. There ain't no way the wife is leaving the toilet seat up. And he sees the shower's been used, so he kind of, he picks that off, and he's like, he's going to shoot into the closet. And the wife is, playing a good game. Like, oh yeah, he's just lying. He's crazy. And at the last second, she, then the guy, his best friend is in the closet. So it's like, and then they're leaving. Like, how long have we been friends? I'd say roughly until you started banging my wife.
Dude,
is that the first time a straight man's come out of the closet, or was it? No.
Head or gut.
Head or gut, yeah.
Seeing that scene, I'm like, hold up, like, is there really a guy? I was contemplating, since it was obviously fresh for my eyes. I'm like, is this guy really that crazy? And surely enough, obviously, he was right with all this, because also, maybe he's a detective, but maybe he's stressed. He had a long day. Maybe he's not all there. And seeing that scene, Mark, I'm just like, and all of a sudden, he was right. I'm like, oh fuck, we start off with this movie with him getting cheated on.
Yeah, and then you find out, he's a Donna's, he's a Secret Service agent. He'd saved the president's life, who looked suspiciously like Jimmy Carter, so he's probably top of his game, Secret Service agent. And then maybe you could say, I think when Ebert's line, he's talking about the creeps, and when I look at it, he's talking about the creeps in the movie, because I don't think the guys are heroes to me. He's saving a girl from being raped and abused, or graped, I can't say that, sorry, by this evil senator. So he's acting like a great person. He's not he's not just letting something bad go by to save his own job. He's taking action, and he loses his job for it. So he's a true hero in the movie to me.
Well, that was his version of what happened. We don't know what she consented to and what she didn't.
Well, he didn't know that, but he was remembering that he thought he was helping her. You're right.
Yeah. So,
but the point is, both main characters do save a woman.
Yeah. That's
unfortunately,
that's what I know. Yeah.
Wow. You're vilely misogynist.
The lesson here is make sure that your security guards know the.
As long as we save the trees, Matt is fine.
Yeah, save the trees. Yeah, save the trees. So so he's he's and then of course I'm wearing a Boy Scout hat right now. So of course the whole he is actually Wayne's is yelling at him, like when he flushes his pills down and tells us sob stories, like when you're done feeling sorry for yourself, the front door is that way. It's like, he's basically saying, I don't need those pills to get by, even though my life is shit. So he's, on the surface, he's, looks like his life is falling apart, but he's got his standards and his morals that he adheres to. So that's why I really like the character in this movie. And so I went back and watched it twice in the last few days, just so I knew it pretty well. But yeah, it's really well written, and the lines in this movie are, there's not like takeaway lines, but you really listen to the movie what the characters are saying. It's just, there's so many great quotes in this movie.
Yeah,
it's just phenomenal.
It's not like super cheesy one-liner based, but like there's just a lot of great moments, but it's kind of got to catch the dialogue. I want to add a great moment when obviously when Willis got kidnapped. And he's brought to that whole pool area.
Yes.
And the guy's like, "You got a light," and he gets stacked. And he's like, "Do that again, I'll kill you." And then he gets decked again, and then he freaking decks it to the point where his nose gets red. I'm like, "Fuck, dude!"
He sits back down, so nonchalant about like the whole thing. Just sits back down.
Fucking told you.
Yeah, I told you. Yeah, I'll kill you.
Oh my god, that was perfect. That was one of my favorite moments in the movie. bar none.
Right.
Yeah, like another fun one. It's like, it's called The Vocabulary. You read much? He's like, my subscription to Jugs magazine just ran out. It's like, it's like all these, lines that just fly by that are, really toxic and fun.
Yeah. So Shane
like,
Black, man.
And one of Halle Berry's few good lines at the beginning is, "Yeah, sure. After I'm dead, they'll perform the autopsy." And then, like 5 minutes later, yeah, that's pretty much.
She's dead.
Yeah, good immediate setup and payoff.
By the way, what a dumb thing for a chick to say. Please don't do the autopsy, dum dum.
Yeah.
Women.
And like the daughter, like you guys are saying, is so on it. She's not just say nasty, but she just doesn't take any crap. So she's like talking to Wayne's like, that number in the back of your head, is that like a license plate? Plate in case somebody tries to steal it. It's like, she's not scared of him either.
Well, yeah, he's like, yeah. Wait, does he like? He explained like, oh no, I saw him about graduation. He's like, you don't want to talk. I'll just be in the kitchen. I'm like, man,
Yeah.
she owned
it.
Seriously, so good, dude. Like, it's crazy because she's just the teenage girl who wants to go to the party, and she's more badass than all these women the modern age. But like you and me, like, dude, she's badass, and she comes with the gun too. To like, she's the one who's like not supposed to be playing with a gun, which of course is not gun logic. But we gotta take logic out of the whole spectrum. But hear her walk around the gun like, wait, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, don't point that at me.
Point that at me.
Hey, but good trigger discipline though. She didn't have her finger on the trigger. So
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
She did have that. Okay. Before I'll let you guys, we'll have a big old disco. 70s rock fan, take it away.
Well, this is actually a movie I didn't see in the cinema because when it came out in 1991, I was otherwise occupied in foreign lands, and I ended up seeing it in VHS eventually. And I mean, it had all the ingredients for me of something that should have been a fantastic movie, like a toxic stew, if you like. I mean, if you were going to make a toxic movie, cook it one up, you'd have Shane Black, you'd have Joel Silver, you'd have Tony Scott, you'd have Bruce Willis. I mean, you couldn't get better ingredients. And I remember at the time kind of enjoying it, but I guess maybe because I saw it in VHS, it didn't leave a lasting impact on me. But I've come to appreciate it more in the years since, and having watched it again a few days ago, I think it kind of stands up kind of well. I mean, I've always loved Tony Scott. I mean, he was a brilliant director. Sad loss.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of my favorite movies of all time are Tony Scott movies, and I wouldn't necessarily put this at the top of his pantheon. And there's a great word for you, but I still think it's got those toxic ingredients, and I think it plays them out rather well. And I guess Bruce Willis's character is not necessarily got quite as much likability as maybe you'd want him to have to deliver. There's not so many of those kind of wisecracks.
He doesn't do the wisecracks, but as a character, I felt like, as I said earlier before you hopped on, I felt like he out badass John McClane in some scenes.
Well, I think in that respect, yeah, but I think just as a guy you might kind of root for, he had a little less of that. He was just so cynical and
he is super cynical.
You were like, does this guy, do I really like him? Don't I like him? But great movie with Halle Berry and Bruce McGill, another great actor in it, and the wonderful Dick Butkus. I mean, was it Butkus?
Yeah, that was awesome to see.
Never knew, not being a football guy, being in the UK, not being a football fan, I'd never heard of that guy. But what a name! Dick Butkus. And Jimmy Dix and Dick Butkus in the same film. And Kim Coates, good Canadian actor, obviously, Sons of Anarchy and so on. But
he's in so much stuff, man.
He's
Kim
Coates, love him. He's great. But great toxic stew. The one thing I did find kind of weird was how quickly Damon Wayans and Jimmy Dix's character, how quickly he got over the death of his girlfriend. Like 20 seconds later, he's not grieving any longer. He just blew through grief into anger and then acceptance.
You're thinking too deep. You're thinking too deep.
Yeah, no, because he did actually grieve when he was at the apartment. Yeah, he was in the apartment looking at the pictures and stuff.
He sheds a tear and he moves on. He's looking at the picture.
How long do you want him to cry over a stripper?
And immediately kind of go. Look, if Halle Berry's character had been my girlfriend, I would have been in shock for weeks after that. Like, what have I just
You hit
lost?
the point. It's girlfriend because he was picking out baby names. It wasn't the fucking stripper.
No. He wasn't picking out baby names for.
Pants.
No, the baby name thing wasn't for. She wasn't pregnant. That was a baby that he lost.
You're right.
Yeah,
you're right. I'm forgetting that
yeah.
point.
Not to mention, she's a uncreative. Like she has no creativity to her stripping. She wore like cow print because she has udders.
Acting mad. She was acting.
They ripped off Sin City there.
Oh my goodness!
But yeah,
Way before Sin City.
That strip club is
Sin City
that
ripped off this.
I think
that strip club.
I was joking, yeah.
But
That
anyway,
strip club, real quick. I got to get this joke out. That strip club is better off now.
That was a joke.
Do you hear the people laughing? Yes.
That was a pithy comment. But I think it's aged pretty well, this movie, and I must say I did enjoy watching it again. So, in the pantheon of Willis movies, is it up there? Is it down here? It's kind of 3/4 up.
If you go any faster, we're gonna travel back in time.
It's a great script. Shane Black did a good one, and I think he got paid an enormous sum of money for this.
1.7. Yeah, 1.7.
The highest amount anyone had ever been paid for a film script at that particular point in history.
So well done, Shane. Top man.
$1 million guaranteed up front. We got handed $1 million cash right off the bat.
Yeah, and he had it on the back of an envelope and said, "Yeah, there you go. I'll take the money." There you go.
Oh gosh,
I'm just kidding. It was a good script. So,
but he was Shane Black in the late '80s, early '90s. So there you go.
But, I mean, you couldn't have built a more toxic recipe than those people that came together to make this. So well done, that studio.
Yeah, anyway, you got for the toxic ingredients. You had the football player. You had the dad who was a very cynical, guy. Obviously has a bad relationship with his daughter and his wife, and he's a detective. And you have all this tragedy going on, and of course you got the scene earlier with that at the pool with the guy and the girl. Like that lovely scene happening. Trying to think what else it adds for the toxicity. Let's all think of what are the other toxic elements in here.
Well, I just wanted to say again, being a Brit and not into football, what we would call American football, as opposed to real football.
Nobody credit is toxic.
This strategy of shooting people to get a touchdown, is that normal in the game, or was that a new invention? That's normal.
In Chicago, they got really bad gun violence there.
Yeah, because it seems it seemed very effective to me as a strategy to get the.
Yeah, we covered
that. Was
that.
generally
it
considered
wasn't
a personal foul.
Well, you'd be surprised.
Is that in the rule book?
Defensive players. Yeah, look, you'd be surprised how many defensive players have been, gotten in trouble for not making the tackle just because they got shot.
Right.
You got to tackle them. You let them run just because you got shot. Oh, boo-hoo.
All right, lines like the dialogue, of course, endless toxic dialogue. This one, I'm fuckface, he's asshole. Oh man. Oh, he's here. Bryce is here.
I'm literally right here. Yeah. And then
he's kind of in the center, so
center square.
It's hard to lose me.
He moved.
But even when they've got everyone kind of captured, when the football guy has them all at dead to rights, and he says something to the little girl, and she's like, "Eat shit, you fucking redneck."
Yeah.
Immediate delivery. Immediately just snaps it out there.
Yeah.
Like such key delivery from her. She was so great.
And she shows up with the puppet too. Yeah. And he's like talking to the puppet. That was hilarious. Everyone's all having a little jolly time, and then the shootout just happens. I love
because she's not scared. Like, I mean, we know it's a movie, but like for the kid not to run off, like she's smart enough to take the gun. Then Damon Wayans says, of course, I hate guns, so he leaves the gun in the car when he's confronting, a bunch of gangsters, which is probably not a good way to be prepared for the situation, not so tactically sound. But so then she's got the gun and the puppet, and she's like, take it. And that's a great scene. And they just like,
would you like my puppet, mister?
Like, why did
Milo
Milo cross the road? Because he got his stuck in a chicken. Yeah.
All
And
right.
the guys are laughing. And then that toxic, sorry, Nick, the toxic scene with the pimp when he's like making the jokes of the pimp's wife, the fat jokes of the wife.
Mhm.
And then to like distract the guy. It's like,
Silly but fun.
silly.
Oh,
but, yeah.
By the way, you want to talk
How
about
fat was she?
I had to roll in her flour and find the wet spot.
wasn't one of his kill shots?
Nick.
Wasn't one of his
okay,
kill shots one of the bad guy's crotches?
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah.
I mean, this is a vote against the misogyny. I just want to bring that up, especially considering what Bobby and I mentioned earlier.
Misogyny. Not just misogyny, but
Vilely
misogynistic.
Yes.
Where do I find shotgun shells like that explode, that shred?
the
like
shredders?
That? I mean, they have those in the military. I mean, I can imagine like you fire an explosive projectile and it waits to explode till it goes out.
Cops use it to open up doors to bang off the hinges.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's true, but that's what was said in the movie.
Yeah, that's all.
We never had shredder when I was a cop. We never. Our shotguns did not come with shredder ammo. I asked, they said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Never mind," and moved on.
You don't want to kill everyone within 10 feet. Yeah, that was a fun scene anyway. But movie stuff, yeah. But
all right, I'm gonna jump ahead.
Deus Ex ammunition.
I want to jump ahead a little bit on this. This is my prophecy about that scene where we'll just call it the makeup scene at the end. I truly believe if there's no about getting a dog, the makeup would have never happened. What do you think, Mad?
I was going to bring that scene up too because I absolutely loved that he was such a man. He didn't even say "I forgive you" or "I love you" or any of that. He's like, if there weren't cops around, I would spit in your face. Love it. And I know, I say what you will. People will be like, "Oh, but that's a callback to what she said earlier."
Yeah.
Sure, maybe. I don't know. I'm not just going to, just assume that's what he meant. In my mind, he was just like, I would spit in your face. You're still a cheating whore. Just because I went through life, through a life or death situation here.
This is what I like about your analysis, man. You're not a misogynist. You have good, thought out, well-reasoned arguments against women.
That's right.
You're not a misogynist. You have an argument. You have a reason.
I don't hate just to hate.
That's right. I appreciate that.
They flip a car over into a pool and it immediately catches fire.
No,
That's exactly
guy. That's how fuel works.
Yeah, that's exactly what I expected. I just said. Made sense.
Look at me. I'm Brad Estate. I've never driven a car into a pool. Come on, man.
You haven't lived until you've done that.
Oh, no. I haven't flipped a car.
Flipped a car.
Flip the car upside down. I'm not saying she's fat, but a high school picture was an aerial photograph.
It's got all the great lines here.
You slap the thigh and ride the wave.
I like the accident one. Yeah, you tripped, slipped on the floor, and accidentally stuck your dick in my wife.
Again, completely plausible.
Oh,
especially if she's fat, because there's a lot of target to aim for there. So.
Oh.
That's how I ended up with magic. I slipped and put the D in the magic. Now I have magic with Mad.
Apparently.
Episode 1 available now on my channel.
That was a great video. It was good. Yeah, everyone should watch that. It was good.
Oh, thank you. I was proud of it.
All right.
Yeah, and then
No women. That was the best part.
You don't have a beautiful assistant helping you?
Nope.
Nope.
Not in my video. Wait, Mary Mayhem will be episode 2.
Is Nick going to survive this episode? Or is he going to...
I'm not even drinking yet. I'm like, man, this is fine, but this is hilarious. All right.
Question.
Yes, go for it, Bryce.
There are 3 cars in the opening chase sequence.
Oh, here we go, Mr. Logic.
I tried to shut that shit down, guys, but
Best car out of the 3. The
65 Mustang.
It's not one of the cars. The 1980 Jag XJ6, the 1980 C3 Vet, or the 1971 Citrus DS. There is a right answer.
I don't know what the question was.
Which one's the best car?
The Jaguar.
Which one didn't blow
Citroen.
up?
Citroen.
No, Jaguar's the best one.
Citroen, the French car.
Gross. Go the Jaguar.
The Citroen de Chevaux.
Yeah, but the Jaguar, the Lucas Electronics are going to fail. Next few.
My brother had a Jag XJS. So there you go.
You're all wrong. The correct answer was the Mustang. Thank you. Move on.
Yeah,
I said the Mustang. Yes, I said the Mustang. Yeah, I think that was a 66 actually. Looked like a 66.
It looked like a 65 and a half.
I think it's 65 or
64.
Okay. 64 and a half.
December 65.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no, you brought up a good point. Toxicity. Nice cars. Very toxic. Very toxic.
What was Bruce Willis driving? It was like a 70s, like my grandfather always had those like big ass Buicks with like two doors and like got like 5 miles to the gallon. But Grandpa always had like a huge car like that.
6 liter.
I think he had a Pontiac Grand Prix or something like that.
Yeah, it's something like that.
71 Buick Riviera.
That seems like a Hallenbeck vehicle, a Willis vehicle, and Pritza called Last Boycott. Cause his vehicle is not as toxic as the others. The other ones are just like you can feel the stench coming off of toxicness from these cars.
You know what wasn't toxic? Those $600 leather pants. Things were nice.
No, those are $650. $650.
Oh, $650. My bad.
Yeah, it'll come like with the TV in them or something.
That was, once again, there are some really great lines where you gotta pay attention, and they're there. It's not the quick one-liner like
right.
There's just these awesome lines. It's just like you gotta like stay on guard, and when it happens, it's like. Fuck, dude. Like even Willis, water's wet, the sky is blue, women have secrets. Like
I mean, in a sense, those lines were delivered straight, as opposed to knowing wisecracks with a wink at the audience. It's straight delivery, but they were still funny.
That's the difference. Is that? Oh God,
yeah, you gotta pay attention. Yeah, I was watching The Graduate with some friends years ago, and then one of the friends complained, "This movie has too much dialogue."
What?
In between the words, too much dialogue.
Too much dialogue. That's one of the greatest.
That's his argument.
Too much dialogue.
Too much dialogue.
Sorry, that line. Yeah, this movie has too much dialogue.
Watch a silent movie.
No one ever sits there and stares at each other. I don't get it. What's happening? You're always talking.
I'm like, you graduated college with me? It's like, come on. Jesus
how
Christ.
dare an action movie have a little bit of substance in it? Like, what the fuck is wrong with that shit? Having that little bit of substance. They're trying to actually, elevate the story a bit. Oh my God, what the fuck is that photo? Oh, it's horrifying.
Looks like a lunchtime stripper is what I'm seeing.
Oh yeah.
Hold on.
That is horrifying to look at. All right, Draco, you out there?
I'm out here and I'm traveling.
All right, traveling. Quick. Or if you can elaborate if you got more time than quick. But favorite moment of this one.
Just one? Gee, thanks.
Do a few. Hey, do a few. Top three then. Top three.
I couldn't even say what the top three were because, geez, I'd have to be honest, guys, as much as I read some stuff to go over this because I could do that, I have not seen the movie for probably 3 months.
Okay.
And this is a movie. This is a movie that I see like twice every year.
Okay, well that's good.
Well, yeah. I gotta preface as a lot of people don't know is that my main thing is movies. Used to be movies and TV, but TV's kind of more to get into. But yeah, there are certain movies that get watched multiple times every year, and when people say that they've watched a movie like 50 times, maybe even 100, I say, yeah, that's a good start. But yeah, geez, I cannot actually sit and, to be honest, I cannot actually sit, drive, and think about all the things that I liked about this. I mean, realistically, this movie, I liked the idea of how much the violence is used in it. So every like crazy scene, like how many cars get blown up in this? How many people are trying to be blown up in car explosions? It's just like he said at the beginning when talking about this was Michael Bay before Michael Bay. Best scenes. I can't come up with one because I just love the idea of the movie and everything that happens in it. I mean, I will be one of the first ones to tear it apart for logical consistency too. But the thing is that I just don't care. It's like when I was bringing it up about how much it doesn't make sense when you think of what's actually going on at the end with the helicopter chewing up the guy who just fell from lights inside the stadium. It doesn't make any sense, but it's horrible and it's bloody and it's crazy and it's just badass. But that's one of the things, is that this movie is filled with stuff like that. And that's another thing that Roger Ebert didn't like about this brand of movies, that the things that they're too violent and too bloody and too gory and things like that. And it's like, well, sometimes that actually sells it. It's like Milo in the original draft of the script was actually going to be worse, but everything about the guy that actor played, Negron, I mean, it was so out of his normal wheelhouse, and the guy is just evil, and that's how he was built up. The bits of screen time where he's actually speaking, he's actually accomplishing something, is like he's Sauron. He's the bad guy of the film. He's everything about that. And every one of those things. I mean, just, geez, flipping the car over. How did the car land in this I guess, coming down the side of the hill, flipped over backwards, landed in the guy's pool, and the guy is still there. And then the guys climb out of the car and they're asking him questions like, you got another car? He says, yeah, I need it. No. Just moments like that. Mm-hmm. It's filled with them. I cannot focus on any single one, not without actually going through it. And it's like, this thing is filled with moments that make me go, this is what you want from this kind of crazy, silly, adrenaline, misogyny, whatever action movie. Yeah, I accept the misogyny as has been foisted upon us, because yes, it's got strippers, it's got the cheerleaders at the beginning, it's got the hookers that the Boehner did, because that's just like Claudia said, that's the shit that happens. But the thing is that it points out some of the best movies. I mean, here's one right there. The scene with Calvin Boehner, the scene with him all dressed up, looking neat as a Secret Service agent. He's outside and here's shit going on in the room. And instead of staying outside and just guarding, he walks in there, he sees Baynard, he looks at the situation, he runs, he goes up there and he punches Baynard and functionally loses his job. That's a hell of a moment. That is a picture of the last Boy Scout right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Agreed. No, dude. Wow. Hell yeah. Thank you. That was awesome, dude. Appreciate that. I know, obviously, as you say, you could go through even more, but that was awesome. Well, joining us on this panel is Mrs. Arwyn Avalon. Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, gentlemen, how y'all doing tonight?
We're feeling very
in this smokehouse.
You're very toxic.
I don't see
save us from ourselves.
I don't know. I got pretty toxic when I watched the movie too. I loved it. Oh my god.
Good. As you should.
It was great.
Should. Awesome. So was this your first time? Had you seen it before?
I had not seen it before.
Okay, awesome.
I'd heard of it, but I'd never seen it. And I absolutely loved it. I mean, it had everything. My God, it had strong men, it had beautiful women, it had guns, it had fights, it had explosions. Shit, it was awesome. I loved it.
Nice. Yeah, I was going to say, there was quite a bit. As I had said beginning on early in this panel, I said this is like pre-Michael Bayism because not only were they a lot of them explosions, but a lot of them were car explosions. They just love to blow up the car. Like you had the car flip, of course, that went into the pool. You had also the car that blew up, that where everyone fell into that back alley when Willis and Wayne's fell. Like, it's just like cars just had to blow in this movie, and it's just a delight to see. So,
well, to me, Bayisms are very specific, like sparks. Everything sparks. If a bullet hits some surface, doesn't matter what it is, there's going to be sparks. Yeah. And he always does that tracking shot, like what he does in Pearl Harbor. Well, that one too. The spinning MTV. I used to do music video spin, but there's also the one you see it in Pearl Harbor and 13 Hours, where it follows a mortar or missile, whatever, down to the target. That's another Bayism. Yeah.
No, that is a Bayism. All right, awesome. Clobbering, if you can. Yeah. I don't know, favorite moment, 2 moment, 3 moment, whatever you feel like. What would you feel like listening that stands out about this one compared to the rest?
Oh my goodness, picking a favorite moment. It's near impossible, but if I had to pick one, I guess one of the greatest scenes, and we've already kind of covered this, was the scene at the pool at Mark Hahn's house where when he wakes up, the scene when he kills Kevin Costner, touch me again, I'll kill you. That whole scene right there,
phenomenal.
That really, we finally find out how, when it gets down to it, that Joe Hallenbeck is. Because remember, one of the things that also separates him from being John McClane is John McClane's a tough cop, and that's about it. He was in the military before. If you look at some of the origin stuff written about him, but we don't know much about him. But Hallenbeck's former Secret Service, so. He's had a lot more extensive type of training and stuff like that. He knows exactly how to kill a guy just like that. Even doesn't matter. He just woke up. He's all groggy, been drugged. Doesn't matter. And I think that's a great character scene right there. And then if you'll notice, he does tell Milo, who was really, again, it was mentioned earlier, what an interesting performance that is, because he's such a comedian that the guy's nothing like that character. It was really all out of the box for that actor.
It was, yes, it was.
Tells him, touch me. He tells him, touch me again, I'll kill you. And he hits him a couple of times, but we have to wait for it.
And he never kills him.
No.
He probably does, but he told you, touch me again, I'll kill you. He does say. Well, he causes his death. That's enough.
I feel like the bullets in the helicopter had a lot more to do with his death than
without him, which wouldn't have happened if Hallenbeck doesn't attack him.
That was a beautiful scene.
That's like saying Hans Gruber's death was caused by the pavement. I mean,
No, because
it was. The fall didn't kill him. It was hitting the ground at high speed.
Who caused the fall?
That's irrelevant.
Not in a court of law.
Flat.
All right, Mad Mardigan. Clobby, you got anything else before I have Mad Mardigan sound off?
He tripped Clobby. He tripped.
All right. Mad Mardigan, you can say as much as you want.
Well, it's changed a little bit since it's no longer a boys' club.
Oh, come on. I can get as toxic as the next person. Don't let
No, it's cool.
Come on.
So what I really loved was the strong women in their agency, and
you love their boobs. That's what you love. Their tits and their ass. Come on.
So
where is the spine that is left mad? Where is his fucking nads? Someone get him a new pair. They shriveled up.
All of these men know me. It's okay.
He's scared of you.
Here's my 3. Right, the first scene, when the chick almost drowned in the little pool in the jacuzzi. The second one is Halle Berry getting killed.
Wow.
And the number one scene, and I really struggled with it, is the dude falling into the helicopter.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, I know you're like, oh, but what about any other scene? Well, there wasn't that many women in there, so to get taken care of. So the helicopter scene is the first one.
Stunning and brave.
Mad Mardigan, stunning and brave.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't include the hookers being beaten by the senator.
Well, because we don't know we don't know the consent in that. If they would have, if they consented to it or not, we don't know. That's probably why Bruce Willis was fired. It wasn't because he, saved women, which I would get why you would fire someone for that, but it was because he interrupted two consenting adults enjoying their
The question was, did you like the scene or not? Not the actual meaning behind the scene.
Oh, it was great.
Besides, he wasn't saved. He wasn't fired for saving the women. He was fired for not covering it up. Big difference. It didn't matter that he saved the women. It was
fired for punching the senators.
He was fired for not
he knocked
lying.
out 4 teeth.
He was fired for not lying about it afterwards. He was fired for saving the women.
For punching the senator, really. I mean,
yeah, nothing to do with saving the women.
Which he got away with at the end of the film, by the way. Had her gut again, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Was the senator swimming naked in front of the Secret Service?
God, I hope so.
Oh my God.
You got anything else you want to add, man?
No, that's about it, I guess. I'll let somebody else go.
Brightest day highlights.
What the hell's the question?
Highlights.
I'm gonna keep this easy. I'm gonna go by the numbers. This movie has 2 separate boob scenes, 5 separate explosions, 9 instances of Bruce Willis getting punched in the face, 27 different people killed, and the word "fuck" is used 102 times.
That's some solid data there, gentlemen. I definitely vote him for the most appropriate evaluation of this movie so far.
2.5 testicles out of 2.
And that's not fake news. Yep, it's all perfect facts. Yep.
Wow. All right.
Good job.
Good job, Bryce. Thank you for collecting that data. Mark D with a C.
Yeah, I love the opening. I mean, I love just showing that he's a detective, and then gradually you find out he is a badass, like Clobby said, and everyone said, that scene by the pool, and also in the strip club when Wayans goes to punch him, and he just grabs his hand, and so you could see like he's a badass from the start, and like Clobberin Times is saying, he's probably got some intense training. He's not a guy you want to screw with. So I love that scene. There's just so much stuff going. With the dialogue, fast and furious, that it's just like, and I love the daughter in the movie too. When she's not holding any prisoners, and she's smart enough to take, hand the gun over. She's great in this, and actually, the actress was talking about maybe doing a sequel to this. I don't know. Can you imagine her with Bruce Willis, as a detective agency or something with Wayans? I don't know if that'll.
She's 44 years old.
Yeah, she's 44. Yeah, so.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So that means
they had a great rapport. They had a great rapport.
Yeah. So
I think she says that this is one of her favorite movies, or is her favorite movie she's been in.
Yeah, so I
get the band back together.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see that. Yeah, that would be great. If they could actually, make something like this today.
She's the only one that thinks that. I don't think anybody else wants anything to do with it.
Probably, they probably don't want to see each other again. Yeah, but the car, like Brightest Day was saying, all the car chases and the fights, and Willis is always thinking too. Like he puts a C4 in the trunk. And he, he's getting ready for it. So he's not like a stupid, dumb character. He's always thinking, and and in the end, he's actually a really good, he's a really good guy. And then the end, when his daughter's respecting him and saying like, "Oh, my dad maybe isn't a loser or a fuck up. He's a great guy." And then the last line,
she still loves her dad. Yeah,
she still loves her dad. And the last line is, of course, the Boy Scout motto. Be prepared. So I don't know if I'm the only I caught that, but I really like that where and that's you always think of
because Satan Claus is out there, and you got to
be prepared.
Old Satan Claus is out there.
Yep. So I gotta get myself one of these "I'll kill you" mugs, and
I'll kill you.
I'll kill you.
I'll kill you.
I'll kill you. So those are great. Those are great scenes when Willis is a great actor, so he's believable as that tough guy. So it's and he's not Arnold Schwarzenegger, 300 pounds of muscle, but he looks like he's, that kind of guy where he could really, kick your ass if you look at him. If you look at him the wrong way.
Give him the funny look, yeah.
And that's why I love that scene where he kills the guy in the, by the pool, which you talked about. But it's like, you killed him. You just killed him.
He warned him. He told him he would.
I told you. And then he's like, he just sits down like, I needed a light. So those are great, moments like that. So Shane Black, I paid a lot of money for the script, but I think he did a great job. Even though I know they changed a lot of stuff, and you read, how they fought behind the scenes, and probably was a toxic environment, but
it was almost a riot.
Yeah, all these guys were the top of their game, right? Willis is at top of his popularity, right? With Die Hard, he's top of the world. Shane Black just got paid almost $2 million for the script. You got the director, and you got Wayans was pretty popular back then too. So it's I can see where all these guys are butting heads and saying my way or the highway, and all these egos, and but they still got it done. So they were believable as guys that liked each other in that first scene when Wayans explains how his daughter or son was born, or the wife was in the accident, the son was born, and only lasted a few hours. So and that was a touching, So that was a touching scene. And then right away, then he goes to do drugs, and Bruce Willis, usually like, oh, we're gonna be best friends from now on, and Bruce Willis finds him in the bathroom, cold clots him in the jaw. Man, get those freaking drugs out of my house, which is what a cop or a guy, Secret Service agent wouldn't want that shit near his daughter. So I really like that. He's like protecting his family and his kids and his kid. So it's part. He doesn't do anything that's really out of character. That whole movie. I'm trying to analyze it or think of it, but I don't think he ever does anything where he lets his morals slip or lets things slide, or that's how he gets by, as he says. He just he doesn't touch that stuff. So
he's a very consistent character. He's very consistent. The entire movie.
Yes, Arwyn, absolutely.
Strong disagree. Did you see how he was shaven at the end? Clean shaven?
Oh my god.
Okay, save for the clean shave.
I think that was supposed to show that he's okay now. He's in a better place because he's shaven.
Although I gotta admit, I love the scruff. A Bruce Willis with scruff, yes.
Yeah,
he's got to be
that's
scruffy.
A plus. Yep.
Yeah.
A big plus. Huge plus.
I will say, like, the one negative thing that I have about this, and there's not much, because this movie is almost bulletproof. People keep talking about logic, and I see y'all in the back. I see the private chat, but you're not going to find holes in this movie. So, but the one thing I didn't care for was
I need a little electricity.
You need a detonator for C.
He wired that at 70s. He wired that into the light.
That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about.
I don't care. It was cool.
Listen, so the one issue I have was the throwing motion of Damon Wayans at the end. I know he had a bullet hole in his hand, but it gets the sidearm. It was an awful delivery. He was doing it from horseback, which I doubt he ever trained for, as a quarterback in this league. Like, that was my one problem, was the throwing motion at the end. That stood out. Yeah, that really stood out to me, Maybe if he wasn't a horseback, it would have been better, but still.
What about the horse? Was the horse's performance okay?
It was all right. I could have used a little bit more of a high step.
Plus, how far up was that guy to hit?
I don't give a shit. That horse was gorgeous.
Oh man!
It was the star of that scene.
How many points is that in fantasy football if your quarterback throws a touchdown from a horse? Is that extra points, or is that?
If you hit a senator, it's double the points.
Double the points.
Yes.
It wasn't a touchdown though, so.
Yeah, it wasn't a touchdown. Right. Come on, guys.
All right. I guess I'll go off with my favorite moment. So, of course, I love the scene at the pool. We know where Bruce is asking, Hallenbach is asking for a cigarette. We already went over that. I also want to go over the ridiculousness of the last scene with everything's happening. You got the center up above the building. You got the shooter on the other side. You got Wayne's on a horse. Yeah, Willis happened. Everything about it, like, it's like you can't make this shit up, but they really did make this shit up.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it all-
can you
but it
imagine
all
writing this down
tracks.
a script? There's a football game going on. David Wayne is on a horse, and the senator's up above, and there's a
It was set up though because Damon Wayans did talk about riding horses early in the movie. It's all
He
set
did.
up.
He did.
No, it is well set up. It's just
Yeah.
everything about it is so bombastic, and
All
it's
tracks.
shameless, and it's
It
delivered.
does track. It does.
Everything tracks.
It's all good
Yeah,
blazing.
you're right. It wasn't random. The payoff came. They mentioned
No,
the horse
it
riding
wasn't
earlier.
random,
The payoff
yeah.
came later. Yeah,
It
so it's
wasn't,
good
you're
writing.
right.
Good
It
writing.
was great writing, but it's just one of those things where you put the elements together, and if you look into it without context, it's just like, wow, this is a really wild idea, and it works. In the moment, you still feel the weight of the scene, like as everything's starting to get into slow motion, and all the students have like
Matrix style.
Yeah, right.
Mm.
Pre-Matrix. So you're like, wow, damn, this actually works. Like, it's just, once again, you take out the context of it, you really just say, it's like, hold on, a horse, a football field, Damon Wayans, a senator, a shooter. Like, it's just, it's ridiculous to think about. But no, you're right. There was absolutely a proper build up to all of this, and that's why it stuck the landing. So I gotta give credit for this movie for doing that, for delivering
Yeah.
what felt like a true
Yeah.
finale. So, and it didn't try to, well, of course, this is pre-sequel fetish era, but this movie felt like it had a beginning, a middle, and an ending. And of course, the introductory to Darian. I mean, man, she right off the bat, she's like, "Yep, that's his daughter,
Mhm.
Darian." That wasn't that her name in the movie?
Darian,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
Darian.
Darian, yeah.
Darian.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I never really paid attention when there was a woman on the screen. I was like, oh,
She's
whatever.
not a woman. She's a girl.
I think we got your
Sorry,
point
like,
exactly, Matt.
Whatever.
So she's in one of my. I don't. Have you got
What's happening on Twitter?
Don't want to interrupt you, Nick, but she's in one of my favorite scenes. If I may talk about my favorite scenes, is when Darian gives.
Real quick before we do, Islington Girl, we have not done Die Hard yet, but don't one day. But all right, go on, 70s.
Yeah, when Darian gives Bruce Willis the puppet. Can you make him talk? Can you make him talk? And we, you kind of know that we're all thinking there's something about this. There's something special about that puppet. Yeah, to me, that's a brilliant scene. That whole like minute and a half, whatever, just before it all explodes, is fantastic. And again, it shows the greatness. Darian is a great character. And the obviously the rotor blades, we've had that one. That's a standout moment in any movie. But another one that I actually really like isn't an action bit, but it's when Jimmy signs the card, the football card, after he's been had the been punched in the face and thrown out of the house. But when he signs it and he says to the daughter of the last Boy Scout, I think that's a great moment. I mean, I think it says a lot about the three characters, her, Dad, and Jimmy, and their say growing relationship, because at that point it doesn't look like it's going anywhere. But he actually is kind of paying tribute to Bruce Willis's character, even though he just punched the fuck out of him. But I like that moment. Not an action scene, but it just says a lot about the movie, I think.
There was that's the thing. There was a lot of good, like, smaller moments, as I mentioned earlier when Darian was talking to Wayne's character, like when she mentioned how her dad was like, "This guy's the best guy in the game." She's getting the autograph, being the fangirl, and then she mentions, once the whole incident happened, like he had stopped watching football since. Yeah, there was a lot of great smaller moments.
Yeah, I like that one. And I think the other one I like is the whole closet scene, because we know someone's in the closet. Bruce Willis knows someone's in the closet. His wife knows someone's in the closet. It's just how is it going to play out? And that was just handled brilliantly. We all know there's someone in the closet.
Yeah, R. Kelly was so ahead of his time.
Yeah.
I got that. No, I got that one. I got that one. Yeah.
So those were great moments for me.
Oh, no, there will be some Chuck Norris. Oh, there will be Chuck Norris. When, where, I'm thinking about doing the Cobra ripoff, but we'll see.
No, Lone Wolf McQuade. First of all, Lone Wolf McQuade is one of the greatest movies ever made.
We'll talk, man. We'll talk.
Right.
We'll
Because
talk. It'll be great.
it's unlike any other Chuck Norris movie. Check this out. He's a Texas Ranger in this one, right? Totally different than what you think of when you think of Chuck Norris. But no, it's so good.
Well, we'll talk about it. All right.
Yeah, just one more thing before I shut up
away.
is I wanted to pay tribute actually to the song, which should have been used for football. Friday night's a great night for football. That song kicks ass, and at the time I thought, is that a real song they use actually for football intros in the US?
It
I
was
don't think so. I
created
think
for the movie, and it was released as a single.
Hell
yeah, it was so good.
It is.
It was sort of
perfect.
like an homage to the Hank Williams Jr. Monday Night Football.
Yeah. It was a play on the one.
And Bill Medley, who's singing it. I mean, the Righteous Brothers did a lot of ballads, but I think he rocks the hell out of the vocal in that one. Much more rock.
It's so catchy. It's so catchy. I remember laughing. I'm like, this is awesome. It's so catchy.
Right.
It had me remembering the intro right off the bat. So you got a great intro with the music, the beginning credits, and then of course, the scene, the magical scene with the wife getting caught in the act. Like it was a hell of an intro. That is, that's how you get the ground running.
Mad must have hated it though because he hates musicals. So
I hate musicals, but I
there was an awful lot of women just dancing, cheerleading, and stuff in that.
The worst. Just everywhere, even in the stands. Like, not this many women like football. What are we doing? Like, they're just
so your Broadway tickets are not on your Christmas list, I guess.
No,
not yet. So
unless it's the Cats and it's the butthole.
So you'd like Cats the movie or Cats on Broadway? Yeah.
Oh, Broadway. I hear they sit in your lap sometimes, so maybe, but
they do.
Oh, actually, dude, that would creep me out. If I'm gonna be honest, like one of those people dressed up like a fucking cat comes and sits anywhere near me. I'm like, no. That's
just
gross.
Too much pussy for you.
Rotund Tugger probably he practically molests the entire front row. So you might not want to sit there if you ever go to see it.
What did that say?
I'm with Mardigan on this one. No furries. Hashtag no furries.
I think I'm becoming a Maddick. He must be magic to be able to do that to me. He's going to take some Madderall to cope. Wow.
That was maddening.
That was maddening.
By the way, the whole Maddick thing, I am writing that down. That is a new. Also, if you want to see Magic with Mad, episode 1 just came out. There's a link up.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's great. Yeah.
Watch it.
It's good.
Watch
it goes
now.
great. Yes.
All right. Before we have Arwyn sound on her favorite moments, I want to read this fascinating piece here about the movie, and it's something that is very, very noteworthy here. Right here, Mr. Shane Black wrote the script to help him get over a terrible breakup, and I'm like, whoa, I gotta look into this. Shane Black's scripts are noted for their witty, sarcastic dialogue and lavish violence. But you don't need to look too closely to see that his protagonists also tend to be deeply troubled. The Last Boy Scouts, Joe Hallenbeck, is no exception. A depressed, self-hating alcoholic with no real sense of direction, haunted by his past failures. Black admits he wrote the script in a low period of his own life, and that the writing process helped him out of that dark time. The writer says, for about 2 years until Last Boy Scout, I was busy mourning my life and in many ways the loss of my first real love. Damn. I didn't feel like much doing anything except smoking cigarettes and reading paperbacks. Time passed and eventually I sat down and transformed some of that bitterness into a character, Hallenbeck. Writing that script was a very cathartic experience. That is packed with emotions, man. I just want to. That was something like wow, and that makes a lot of sense. So I'm starting to see a running theme with the characters, like with his lead character, and I guess that's why he, went for the PTSD route, which is I felt one of the, I guess you could say, better elements of Iron Man 3 because he did nail the element of PTSD well. I have I have my complaints about certain characters in the movie. As far as the PTSD element, I did enjoy that aspect of the movie. So that is a hell of a fun fact there.
I like Iron Man 3. I think, well, I'm a Shane Black fan, but the parts that everybody complains about, I feel like are the Marvel fingerprints on it. You know what I mean? The things that they make directors or
you must
these creators
include
put in.
these
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
The movie's garbage. Let's go ahead.
I love it. Chloe just went for it.
That's garbage.
All right. Mr. Grant for 169 says, Hail 32, you are the best. Well, top 5, top 10. I mean, well, you are great either way. Hail. Thank you, Mr. Grant Gregory. And shout out to Grant Gregory.
I'm mostly kidding, by the way.
Nah.
Only mostly.
Only mostly. Grant Gregory hails from Australia. So
It's truth.
yes. And
Welcome.
welcome, Julie Chow. How are you? All right, Arwyn, why don't you tell us about your highlights of them? Oh, Bryce Day's got some.
I just want to make Mr. Grant Gregory feel at home. So.
Oh.
Real quick, by the way, the Satan clause is very important because almost all of Shane Black's movies take place at Christmas.
This is a Christmas movie as well.
This is a Christmas movie.
It was Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well spotted.
Good catch, yeah.
Once again, a Shane Black theme. So too bad he couldn't have Predators hang out around Christmas. Maybe it would have helped.
Yeah, it was Halloween.
You see, he broke the pattern, man. You don't change a good thing. Sorry,
I feel
Shane.
like that was studio interference. They're like, has to be at Halloween. Assholes.
All right. Arwyn, start off about your favorite moments, whatever, etc.
Okay, well, one thing I loved about this film that when I first heard about the two together, I was like, this is gonna be interesting. Are the leads, Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans? Those two, damn, they worked great together. They had a good rapport. They had a good chemistry. It worked. It really worked. But I gotta say though, one of my favorite scenes is one I didn't expect Halle Berry to be blown away as she was. I mean, I'm like, oh my God, they went there. She's dead. She is not coming back. But when those cars come and they're like, God, Chick, what are we going to do? And then Bruce Willis comes down that street and he has got those guns and he is just, double tapping. I'm like, yes, I was cheering. I love that. I don't know why. There's something about that scene. It works because it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, things are just hitting the fan at once. And then he comes out and there's a look on his face and it's almost like they've kind of built him up to this point. You don't really know, is he a loser? Is he good? Is he good? He's got kind of the shady, I can look at things and I can decipher what's going on. But to actually see him in action at that point, and they take those guys out, car right to the knees. Oh God. Yeah, that was awesome. It's a whole bit. That was fantastic. So that's probably one of my favorite scenes where, not that I wasn't enjoying the film because I was, but that woke me up. That whole interaction. And then I thought, damn, where are they going from here? What are they going to do? She's dead. What is going on? Because at that point, you don't really know. So that part, I love the scene where he's fighting with Mr. freaking Frou-Frou man, who you just, with stank face, you want to smack him. Joseph, James, no.
Milo.
And just not happening. Milo, thank you. And they're fighting up there in the stadium. And then Milo throws the gun at him and he catches it so smooth. He catches it and he nails him. And then you forget about that damn knife. And he goes and he just pegs him with that knife in the leg. And I was like, oh God, just a little bit to the right. And that would have been a really bad day for Bruce Willis. That would have ended that character. And then they fought, and then of course the helicopter scene.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, where he falls and it's just like brilliant. I loved it. I didn't mind the damn horse. I thought the horse was great.
I had no problem with the horse. It was the throwing motion.
I know, but I didn't care. I was so in the moment. And the dance, Bruce Willis started dancing. I'm like,
the jig, yeah.
Okay, where are we going with this? But it worked.
What's he doing?
It was ridiculous. It was over the top, but God, it worked.
Agreed.
It really
Wholeheartedly agreed.
But real quick, by the way, the people in the stadium, like they got over seeing that man be chopped into bits so quickly.
They were fine.
Like,
They really did. That,
quickly.
Guys,
Yeah.
listen, he just got chopped up by a helicopter. It's okay. It's not a big deal. Nothing to see here.
Remain in your seats. Remain in your seats.
yeah.
Stay
that was-
calm. It's
Yeah.
just blood and flesh.
Yeah, look,
Pull
he's
out your
dancing.
towel.
Isn't that funny? Let's all focus on that. Yay, he's dancing. I already forgot about that
That's why
man.
it was so over the
chopped.
top because it
Oh,
wasn't
great.
realistic. But
So
who
unreal.
cares?
Was his wife was a solid gold dancer, right? The actress. Yeah, I was looking at her bio. She was one of the.
Oh,
solid,
was she really?
Yeah, she was a solid.
I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
Tila. She also played
Yeah.
Tila in.
Jesse Fields. She's Scott Bakula's wife in real life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I knew I'd seen her, and I couldn't remember her.
Very
I knew her
pretty,
name was
very
Chelsea.
pretty.
I couldn't remember her last name, but yeah, I loved it. I did, and you know what I loved? I loved that you had two men's men. They were able to have a conversation without, oh, my fifis, oh, I'm gonna cry, and no.
Yeah.
They had a conversation. They got to the chase of stuff. It was serious. It was sensitive, but it wasn't this just soy BS that you see today. And you could not make that movie anymore. You could not make that movie today without somebody bitching about it.
That's
It was
because that's how we
perfect.
talked. That's how we talked to each other back then.
Yeah.
I hope
Yeah.
y'all still do.
And we still do. Yeah.
This movie passes the Mattel test, which is where two male characters have a conversation without it being centered around a woman, which is great.
Yeah,
It actually
I
is.
agree. I totally agree. And that's why I say the men were men, the women were women, the action, the guns were freaking gorgeous. I loved the just gun porn on this show. You had you had everything that made a good movie, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
If anyone cares, that was a Smith & Wesson Model 19 snub-nose revolver.
Yeah, you know that.
Men were real men. Women were real women, and small furry creatures from Alpha Centauri were
small
real.
furry creatures. Yeah. Checkers reference always works.
Oh my God.
So, Matt, I have conversations with guys about with my friends about women all the time. It's usually when I'm in a strip club, but happens all the time.
It was a play on the Bechdel test. The thing about two women having a conversation without it being about a man. It's called the Bechdel test. It was a play on that. Yeah.
All right. Phantom Outside here says everyone forgets about the crowd below. I don't think anyone below is happy to be showered with chunks of
It's a souvenir. I mean, sometimes you get a T-shirt, sometimes you get a beer holder.
Two things. One, Gallagher was very popular at this time.
That's true.
So I'm, they could have been prepared. And two, I don't want to just assume how they feel about chunks being rained down on them.
It's not important to the story. Who cares?
Yeah, they all seemed at the end, I'm sure they were compensated for having to be covered in someone's bits.
Oh God, could you imagine today they'd be having friggin' safe spaces and bringing out counselors and interviewing them. How did you feel about being showered with Milo chunks? Oh, I'm never going to get over it. Who cares?
I think
Philadelphia. They're going to take the jail at a Philadelphia stadium and put in a counselor center, right?
Oh, jeez.
Look, there's a simpler answer to this.
Head to the counselor. If you feel very sad that your team lost today, or
So
offended in any way, please see our counselor on the way out.
So they're going to replace Eagles Court with Eagles counselor office or whatever.
Yeah.
Eagles Court's a real. For those that don't know, there is a judge, an actual judge, in the bottom of the what do they call it? Not the
Well,
link.
it was the vet. It was when it was the vet. I don't know if they
vet,
have it at the Lincoln Stadium anymore. Do they?
Oh, I mean, they're still Eagle fans, aren't they?
Yeah, they still are.
They're still
They're still Eagle fans.
there's still a jail there. I'm sure.
So the judge would make decisions on your behavior. You could go to jail. You could get your tickets taken away from your season tickets or whatever. And that's a real thing because Eagle fans are horrendous people.
Yeah, I have a friend who's a season ticket holder. He warned me. Yeah, don't wear your Giants gear there. You might not make it out.
Yeah.
It's a rough place. Yeah.
Wadsworth's comment here. You know what you sign up for when you get seats in the splash zone.
Exactly.
Amen. You don't bitch about it because you know what to expect. That is absolutely right.
They famously booed Santa Claus there, so yeah.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. And when Michael Irvin got taken off on a stretcher and got paralyzed, they were booing him like crazy.
They were making fun of him when he was getting up on a stretcher.
Yeah, so it's like, God.
Nice.
All right,
get a heart. We lost the Philadelphia crowd, but
I want to read this piece here because I'm sure Mad Mardigan is very happy that this movie didn't turn out this way, where it says Sarah was originally supposed to kill the bad guy. Oh boy, that sounds like a 2021 ending. As we've noted, the ending of The Last Boy Scout that was filmed bears almost no resemblance to what Shane Black wrote in the original script. In the finished movie, the climactic reunion of Helen Beck with his estranged wife Sarah feels like an afterthought, but things might have been very different. Again, we mentioned that Black was ordered to remove a snuff movie subplot, which would have seen the despicable Milo attack a naked Sarah with a chainsaw. However, when Hallebeck and Jimmy burst in, the ensuing battle had seen Sarah take her own revenge on Milo personally. As it stands, we instead have Milo getting shot repeatedly, falling off a football stadium lighting rig and plummeting headfirst into the blades of a helicopter. Still a pretty cool demise, admittedly. Wow.
Yeah, I wouldn't have liked it if she had. No,
this is better.
Yeah,
much better.
Much better.
Seriously, no. The fact that she could have gotten the kill, does that not sound like reek of 2021ism?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I would have thought that. Yeah,
maybe Roger Ebert wrote it.
Roger Ebert. Yeah. So Mad, that ending, which I'm sure you heard, does that not reek of a 2021 ending? I'm assuming you like how this story panned out better than what was planned.
What do you mean?
With what's her face? Yeah. Right.
No, I really did. I left for like a second. My computer.
Sarah was originally supposed to be the one that kills Milo.
Gross.
Right.
I agree. Gross.
Yeah, no. I'm like reading it as you guys are talking, getting ready to pull up another fun fact. I'm like, oh god, yeah, Mad would be very mad about that. And so
instantly, yeah, he had the right answer. Yep.
Yeah.
Hell no.
It would have been stupid.
I do think they could have retained the chainsaw though. Maybe if Bruce Willis had used the chainsaw instead of shooting him, that would have been okay.
Oh, the chainsaw, be cool to see, but dude, the guy fell through a helicopter. I mean, flesh and all.
Softened them up a bit for the helicopter.
By the way, I just want to point out that's the second time in two movies, action films in a row, where Bruce Willis caused the guy to go into a blade and be sliced. I remember in Die Hard 2 at the end of that, John Vernon.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he goes in the helicopter
of an airplane.
It's a good way to kill somebody. So
yeah, right.
But those engines are expensive, though. That's awfully expensive, though. Yeah. But anyway.
All right.
I don't think that was a going concern.
No.
Now stay away from this practical crap, you engineer. You know how much those turbine blades cost each one? God. Jeez.
I don't think that's a going concern.
I mean, there may be a couple like dents in it. You know what I mean? Like it's not gonna be that much
just
damage.
Keep flying with it. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
A little out of balance. Who cares?
All right, Mad. In toxicity, where is this rank in toxicity?
Oh man, I'm gonna say a 0. You know what I mean? Like we didn't spend a lot of time on women, thank God, and the bit that we did made sense. You know, for their species, and I think so. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say 0. I didn't really see anything that toxic.
Don't break character.
Why is he yelling at me?
You're laughing at the things that are happening to you.
I was smiling.
Laugh. You got to be serious.
You're laughing at my pain.
What's up, Scott Jennings? Carry on, Mad.
Yeah, sorry, I guess got yelled at. It kind of threw me off. I don't mind being yelled at, but at least let me know why.
Now?
Well, now I'm weirded out more than upset. Anyway, so that went nowhere. Toxic, yeah, 0. I forgot why. I had a reason. Mostly because they had one female character that wasn't horrendous, the daughter, which by the way is a big deal because if y'all know anything about me is I do not care for children in movies and I certainly don't care for women in movies, and to have one that's both of those things and I don't hate them completely says a lot about a movie.
I don't
So
think you're
there's
that keen on men in movies either.
No, not all of them.
I don't know. Matt's been talking about his preferences in men
That's
this
more
entire
consistent.
time.
Did you prefer the puppet?
Furry Tom.
Yeah, where's the puppet stand in all of this?
Furry Tom.
So I didn't care for the species of the puppet. I think a dog would have been better. Something that easily identifiable as male would be.
You liked the horse, though.
Oh yeah, that was a stud.
He's real hung up
I'm
on
sure the
that.
horse
His
was a
name
stud.
Tom didn't.
But yeah, anyway, so yeah, toxicity is 0. I give it a 9.7.
0
Out of 10.
9.7.
Yeah, and in Die Hard, I'm going to give it a 14.2 out of Die Hard.
All right, so
14
Tom Connors, if you're out there, he
Yep.
gives it 14 diehards.
14.2.
14. Wow, good rating.
Great
Is that on the
rating.
Die Hard
Don't trim
1, 2,
off
or
the
3 scale?
decimal points
So
there, man.
he did toxicity and he did diehard greatness.
Yep.
All right, so it goes. Draco, where does this rank 1 to 10 in toxicity?
I don't think I am qualified to answer that.
Oh, you're
well,
so qualified. Do it.
I am not that qualified. I don't know what you want to give it. As far as I'm concerned, yeah, I believe at least Matt has a point about that. Where's this toxic? Well, the biggest toxicity is the things that people would whine and moan about, like the obvious negative things of the women being treated, which Matt didn't care about anyway. So why would that matter? But yeah, the thing is that. Yeah, it's violent. So yeah, that's toxic. Yeah, there's a lot of blood. Yeah, that's toxic. So I don't know. I don't even know what kind of scale to put this on. I would just say it was an excellent movie. An excellent movie with a lot of blood and a lot of guns and that's just wonderful. So it's toxic, but sure. It doesn't get a scale. It doesn't get a scale, or if you got to put it on a scale, it's right up there where it belongs, right near the top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Okay.
all of that translates
So
to
what-
a 9.5.
9.5 in
I guess
greatness
that
then?
translates
Yeah.
to 9.5.
Yep.
All right. Cool. Awesome, Draco. Arwyn, where do you rank in toxicity and greatness?
Okay, well, I'm going to come at it from a different angle from y'all. I thought it was toxic as hell, and I loved every minute of it. It's the best kind of toxic. It had everything that today would send people just boo-hooing to their mamas. But that's the kind of toxicity, and I say it in air quotes, that made it so good. It didn't worry about offending anyone. It didn't worry about politics. It didn't worry about any of that. It was just a damn good movie. So my toxic scale might be different from y'all, but on a scale from 1 to 5 toxic, I'm going to give it a 5 because I freaking loved it. I really did. And I would give it a 5 out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
So you're going from
yeah.
1 to 5. Okay.
Yeah. But like I said, on the best kind of toxic,
Okay.
if that makes any sense.
Yeah. No.
And let's see. And I would give it from 1 to 10. Y'all are rated at 1 to 10 on a regular scale. I'd say 9.5 is reasonable.
Very
Hell, I'll give
reasonable.
the song alone a 10. That song at the beginning, I've been listening to that all day.
Yeah,
No,
right.
agreed.
Yeah.
You got to sing on a
That was so good.
karaoke night. Yep. Karaoke night. Yep.
See if I can find it.
Can you find it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I could rock that song. I tried to
Caps
rock
and the
it.
Stallions are ready to do
Oh,
it.
yeah, Mither could do it. Yeah, Draco, you could do it. You could do it. You could do it justice. So yeah, it was toxic and it was awesome.
All right. Cool.
There you go.
Awesome. Thank you, Arwyn. CLOBBERIN times. Where do you rank this on the toxicity level and in greatness?
You got to go very high on the toxicity level. That's proven by the fact that this is, this year, it's 30 years ago. And two guys who were very enjoyable critics or stuff. But yes, even back then, there were a couple of pansies when it comes to this kind of stuff. Siskel and Ebert. In this case, Ebert was all triggered and got his panties in a bunch over it with his usual idiocy, calling it vilely misogynistic and all this crap. So if that's 30 years ago, a guy who has been at least on occasion fairly level-headed, is certainly about movies, even though he's not always right. Today it would make the heads melt of just about any of your the people who call things toxic in the first place, your metric for your title of your Tuesday night show. So I'd have to go like this is probably like a 9.5 or something on the toxic scale.
Okay, cool. And then in greatness, where does it stand the test of time out 1 to 10? Just as a movie, just as a regular movie.
As a film, I would definitely say it's probably, I'd give it a flat 8. I'd say it's right up there. It's very, I think it's extremely enjoyable, but there are better action films for sure. But I think it's very good. I like it a lot.
Okay.
Too low for you, Matt, or what?
I mean, normally we stick between 9 and 10 at a. Sure. Do your own thing, Clobbering. Do your own thing.
Doesn't the scale only go between 9 and 10?
That's what I thought.
You can go to 11.
In that case, 9. But no, I love the movie, but I think there are about 3 or 4 action films I think are better, including by Shane Black.
Oh, so, including by Shane Black.
I thought that was a pretty generous rating.
Yeah, I'd say so. All right, killer, Clobbering. Awesome.
Hey, made me feel guilty, Mad. Thanks a lot.
All the more reason to stick by it. Now you have to stick by it now. Just gonna spite him. Brightest day. You know what to do, dude.
I already gave this 2.5 testicles out of 2. I don't know what else you want me to say.
We can't add more scales, all right? We're going to stick with our toxic.
Map that.
All right. God. So it's 5 diehard 1s out of 4.
5 diehard 1s.
All right, I can see that.
All right.
Math is hard.
I was told there would be no math, so I already came over prepared.
You're allowed to make up your own.
Sounds good.
He created. All right, Bryce, take his. Where is it stand in greatness then? Just as a movie.
I don't think I'm qualified to talk about that, considering I just watched it Sunday.
Oh, you're qualified.
Oh, you're qualified. You watched it this whole.
You're overqualified now.
Yeah, as long as you get it,
you saw the movie.
As long as you get it right. Yeah, as long as you get it right, you're qualified.
Yeah,
9.001.
Okay, I'll take it.
9.01. All right.
Acceptable.
Acceptable. From Christian here. Kudos to you, man, for doing this. You are now part of my Tuesday night work night. Cheers, buddy, dude. Hell yeah. Thank you.
Knight Rider fan there, maybe, right?
Dude, yeah. Awesome. No, hey, Toxic Tuesday is fun. It's been a blast, and hopefully come back for more. Appreciate that, Christian. Thank you.
The world of the Knight Rider.
Marc D with a C.
I think this movie was very toxic. You had some great, evil characters. You got Bruce Willis as the last Boy Scout. You got the daughter who, has got a great mouth on her and doesn't take any crap and, uses her brains. And she's a great Nancy Drew, right? And we, just the scenes that I clipped the scene where the guy getting chopped up by the propeller, but I figured out, wait a minute, I can't show that on YouTube probably because we'll get with him getting splattered everywhere. But you got your main villain getting splattered. You got the corrupt owner, one of the football owner. He opens up the wrong briefcase and he gets his just desserts in the end. Getting his, he's a billionaire, but he still needs that $6 million, right? So that's great when they're and they're laughing. They know he's got the briefcase and he's gonna blow himself to bits.
Detective dances a jig because he survives it all at the end.
Yeah, and you got the Irish jig in the end, and all is well in the world, and you got they're opening up a detective agency in the end, and or maybe he gets back to the NFL. So it's toxic. I give it probably like 9.5 on the toxic scale because of the dialogue. The dialogue is like so sharp. I love all those lines in the movie. There was not too much dialogue in this movie. It was awesome. It was just right. And greatness.
Yeah, that review doesn't make sense. That too much dialogue.
Too many wordy things.
9.2 on the great. I've watched this twice over the last 2 days, and just love it each time you watch it. So it's a fun. You can't go wrong putting this movie on. So definitely a Tuesday night recommendation. Yep.
All right, killer. All right, I guess I'll go up to bat. In toxicity, I'm gonna go with a 13. Obviously you got the badass lead of Bruce Willis. You got the equally badass daughter as well, and she's like badass where it's actually cool and she's likable. She's just not there to be strong wham-man. Like, she's awesome. And you got the great dialogue. You got explosions. You got badass cars also exploding. You got a very cynical villain as well. You got Bruce Willis ready to shoot the shit out of a guy who, had an affair with his wife. And of course, you got the opening soundtrack as well. There's just so much greatness in Toxicity here. So I feel like it really deserves its lucky number 13. And then in terms of greatness, Age has done favors once again for yet another great Toxic Tuesday movie. For all the reasons I listed above for its toxicity, it's just Bruce Willis is awesome in this movie. He really is awesome. Yeah. He really does stand out in this role, because I remember going into this thing, it's gonna maybe just be like a diet John McClane, but still great, and it was not diet John McClane at all. So really happy to be proven wrong. And Damon Wayans, despite them having issues working with each other, they worked very well. What looked to be very well in the movie. So yeah, great performances across the board. I'm gonna go with an 8.99998 for the greatness scale. So teetering,
Agreed.
Kind of teetering. All right, 70s.
Oh, Toxicity. I'm gonna give it 4 fingers out of 5. I think. I would have given it 4.5
scale.
On the finger scale. I think I would have given it 4.5. I would have given it 4. I would have given it 4.5 fingers, but that would just be weird.
Well, just have one nub.
Yeah.
That would be perverted, I think. So really, it could be a 5 out of 5, but then you've got thumbs coming into play. So what do you do? So, in terms of overall greatness of the movie, I think I'd give it 15 Hudson Hawks out of 10 diehards.
Nice. And you gave it the Die Hard score too.
It's a pretty good score.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That tracks. Yeah.
Great movie. Stood the test of time way better than I ever expected to, and I think watching it the other day, it was a real treat. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, guys, as per usual, we'll plug in channels, but before we do, we're gonna announce next week's flick, and we're going to do Desperado. So we're gonna go into some Robert Rodriguez territory.
Oh my god!
You know it's gonna be toxic right just off the bat with that one. So
great
it's gonna be
movie.
glorious. So I'm looking forward to it. What?
Cabron.
Now I have to. Now I'm saying full throttle, man.
But she's in that movie so much. Like, he never can get
we
rid
need
of
more
her.
Salma. We need more Salma.
Yeah, it's
She
horrible.
sticks-
She's
she
horrible to
sticks
look
around.
at, right?
She
Yeah.
sticks
Just
around the
terrible.
whole
Right,
time.
it's
Horrible.
like-
It's horrible. Yeah.
All right, now
I feel
Brian
your
has to
pain.
Come back next
Salma's
week
a
just
10
to
fingers
fight
out of
Dad.
5.
It's 10 fingers in a toe. God damn it!
That's when you want to be the 6-fingered man, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So yeah. It's gonna be-
Hey,
it's
look
gonna
at me. I'm Salma Hayek. Bing, 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 bing. Whatever.
be-
God, kick mad.
We
Kick mad.
get it.
Kick him.
Let's put it this way, man.
Get
I
over
wouldn't climb over her to get to you. Let's put it that way, man.
Wouldn't have to. I'd come find you. What?
So yes, next week Desperado
Are we
will
plugging?
be the flick, and we'll plug in
I
channels.
wish.
So
I'd like to plug Salma if I could. But
Oh, I get the first plugging. Yeah, hey.
you're the initial plugger.
Yep,
Dedicated
I will
plug.
plug.
You get to go and dry.
Go plug.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Hey, I'm Ed, and if you're not a woman, you should come check out my channel.
Oh my god!
we do non-women
what if
things.
you identify as a woman, but you're not really?
That's too confusing to even come and check out my channel. So tomorrow we have Street Smarts, 2:00 Central. We're gonna have a recap of our fantasy football league, which has like 3 women in it. I don't know how that happened. And then we'll have
God forbid.
Street Smarts at 3 p.m. Central. Episode 1 of Magic with Mad is up. I definitely put the D into magic in that episode. And is that all I do? Yeah, that's basically it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, tomorrow. I don't know if the dump's happening or not, but yeah. So you can check out my channel. It's there.
What's that quiet show you do with Culture?
Oh yeah. Also, Culture and I do a stream after Street Smarts called Mad and Culture Do It Together live on a stream.
Oh, that's geeky.
Come watch.
Together? Yes. Oh, I will watch.
Yep.
Thank you.
That happens. Yep. No problem.
The road.
All right, Draco. Go for it.
Yes. Well, geez, now I'm supposed to plug stuff, so I guess it would be good if I actually had stuff like Mad, although I guess that's one of the things I do around here is I scream at people like Mad Mardigan on streams. But you can find me on the YouTubes at Draco Argentus. You can find me on my website, which doesn't really, it just helps people find me at mythier.com. Other than that, I just hang out with people like all these great guys on YouTube and people like Mad. And yeah, that's pretty much what I do here. Not making much much content at the moment, but I need something. I need something more than a magic trick or a magic trick. That's all.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. You know, if you ever want to come on for something, obviously keep your eyes and ears open for whatever we're doing. You know, I'd be glad to have you on in a heartbeat.
I suppose there is one thing I'd like to leave you with.
Yes.
Water's wet, the sky's blue. And old Satan Claus, Jimmy, he's out there. And he's just getting stronger.
Beautiful. Thank you. Beautiful. Poetic even. Awesome. Thank you, Draco.
You're welcome.
Arwyn, take it away.
All right. Well, tomorrow, let's see, Wednesday at 5 o'clock, we've got Pink and Purple in the afternoon on Purple Valkyrie's channel this week. We do alternate weeks. And, you know, I think it's the perfect vehicle for Mad to come on and do his magic trick. So we're looking forward to that.
Actually,
what could go wrong?
That actually I'll talk to you afterwards because that actually would work.
And then, let's see, Thursday, there's Pegasus Actual Podcast. My co-host up there, Brightest Day. And, of course, that is on Supreme Heretics channel. We love you, Drew. That's going to be at usually between 9:10 and 9:25. That'll be Thursday night, Eastern time. And then, let's see. Saturday is Mary's Game Room. She's got her show at 1:30 on Saturday. And, of course, there's Clobby show. I know he's going to talk to you about that. His Star Trek show. It's amazing. And then also at same time at 10 o'clock on Saturday night is Rambling Karaoke's show. Going to be doing that. And then Sunday, we've got 4:30 on the Fan Fantasy Story Ideas. We've got a Ronnie Barker special going on at 4:30.
Ronnie Barker, genius.
Yeah.
Awesome.
that wraps it up for me.
All right. Well, thank you, Arwyn, for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Nick, for inviting me. I really appreciate it. I had fun.
The pleasure is mine. And, you know, if there's ever something that,
Howard knows how to plug stuff, man.
Seems to be of your interest. I know I'd like to have you come on here just to spite Mad. It'll be
I would love, oh my God, sign me up.
All right. Keep your eyes and ears open.
He can deal with a damn woman for 2 hours. He can handle it.
As long as it's not in my movie.
I'm just thinking, Mad. I was trying to think of the perfect movie for Mad. It would be 12 Angry Men. Wouldn't it really?
Well, so in the chat, by the way, I do like that. I even like the remake with John Lemon, John Lemon, right? Yeah.
Yeah. No, Jack Lemmon was.
Jack Lemmon, yes.
Jack Lemmon was.
John Lennon.
John Lennon.
Jack Lemmon was in the remake of 12 Angry Men. But no, The Thing, by the way, is a great movie.
You
no
know The
women
Thing.
at all.
But on that happy note, so
actually, The Thing may be female. We don't know that, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Things gender
non-binary.
neutral.
No,
I was gonna say
it's
gender
male.
neutral.
No, we don't claim it.
I think it was a metaphor for a woman, wasn't it, Mad? It was
Oh
a
yeah,
metaphor for a woman.
just taking over a man's life and making him into whatever you want. Yeah,
breaking his heart,
Yep.
bursting out of his chest.
Yeah. like turning his friends against him. Yeah.
Someone's bitter.
We need a whole follow-on stream for this. So anyway, I am that 70s rock fan, and I'd like to thank Nick for having me on Toxic Tuesdays once again, as the work gods allowed me to appear. I do have a little channel, which will be, if I can get it finished, I will have 2 new videos coming out in the next few days. One about Larry Niven's Ringworld science fiction book, and the other one about my Underlooked Bands series, about one of my all-time favorite bands, 10cc, and who are known obviously for their big hit I'm Not in Love, but did many other things. And I appear on regularly on MF for Cocktail, on Foul Law Productions on Friday nights, and Pop Culture Archivists on Sundays and whenever. And whenever I can muscle my way onto other people's shows, you'll hear me popping up all over the place. But thank you, chat, and thank you, Nick, and thank you, everybody.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming on. Mad Morgan here says the thing isn't allegorical.
Facts.
And Bruce Lombardo here says this was another good stream. I laughed so much I coughed. And Mr. Steven On says, and I'll be on Rambling Canucks show on Saturday night as well. Awesome. Well, there's your honorable plug. So even the Steven Naughton gets a plug from the chat. So see, we even let our chat be pluggers as well. Everyone gets a plug. All right, Clobbering Times.
Yo, all right, man. Thanks for having me tonight. I really appreciate it. It's great hanging out with all of you wonderful folks. Let's see here. Tomorrow night I'll probably just do an open show, talking to all of you lovely people who show up. And Thursday, the Global Geek Gang shall gather. Hopefully they'll make it this week. And it'll be, since this month is about all the great team-up comics, like, Brave and the Bold, the Marvel team-up and such. It'll be the dream team-ups. I mean, you named the team-up, and I'm going to show it to you that you thought could have never been done, but cross-company or whatever. And I'm going to show it to you. It's going to be magic. Not really. And Saturday Night Star Trek, of course, with my wonderful RM Raquel Briggs. We're ending. Boy, it's tough getting to that Next Generation second season, but we've done it. The last 2 episodes of that thing, and then on to the 3rd season the week after that. So there you go. And Marc D with the C will join me. It does. Marc D with the C will join me Monday night for that part 4 of my Mark C Comic Talk movie. See now, team up comics, and it'll be Marvel 2-in-1.
Yep. Looking forward to that.
Right.
Yep.
Nice. Awesome. Well, Clobbering, thank you for coming on. As always, it's a pleasure being on any panel with you. It's always a great time.
Thank you.
And, obviously, as I mentioned to everyone else here, if there's a flick that you hear about and you're like, you got the time and it sounds of your interest, you know what to do.
I'm glad you liked the movie, man.
Oh, absolutely. I'm very, very thankful. All right, Marc D with a C.
Thank you. It's great being here. Very toxic. Almost died laughing a few times. Hopefully you did too. Maybe we'll follow Bruce's suggestion. We'll do Showgirls next week. No. Let's.
We already picked.
Already picked.
There's already enough women in this one.
Damn women. They ruined everything.
Yeah, ruin all the movies.
What about Attack of the 50 Feet Women? That would be a good film for
So anyway, check out my channel. I've do a lot of 3D printing, toy reviews. Got a couple of Star Wars figures I dug out of the attic, and I found out that I guess the first series of Lego Star Wars figures. So I got the first 3 series. I'm going to do a quick video on those, and my 3D printer's down now, but I can get that working again. It crashed and burned, but I'll fix it. And I'm on with the Pop Culture Archivists on Sunday with all the guys here, and I've been doing a Sunday night show as well. Arwyn's been there, Clobby, Nick, you were there the last time, so we had a great time. We just kind of geek out on Sunday night, no topics, and just have fun and chill and stay up way too late for work on Monday morning, which is always a good plan. So check out my channel. Appreciate everyone watching, and it's been a lot of fun. Thank you.
Hey, Mark,
Thank you.
Can you 3D print a 3D printer?
Yes.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep. Yeah, you do actually print a lot of parts for the printer. Yeah, actually, Prusa, they do print. They actually 3D print a lot of their stuff. So, but yeah, I had an accident trying to print something. Well, not an accident, but just that's the nature of 3D printing. It crashed and burned. So
I would just make one in the replicator machine. I mean, it'd be much easier.
Yeah, you probably got one built by a woman.
Well, we know it's not going to work, so
That's why it broke.
we tank every damn thing.
Oh.
Did we get canceled yet, or is the stream still up?
Oh, someone definitely downloaded our panels.
I hope my wife doesn't watch this one, guys.
Wait for it, Brightest Day. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Go.
Sorry, he froze. His camera froze. Crap.
Hi guys, I'm Brightest Day. Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, I read sci-fi novels on Booked with Brightest Day. It's fun.
Cool.
Tune in. You don't have to do anything. Just listen to me. Tuesday, I build models. You don't have to do anything. Just listen to me. Watch me build a model. I'm also on Ironcaster's channel talking Gundam. Before that, if you like Gundam, stop in. It's okay. On Thursday, I'm on Supreme Heretic's channel with the lovely Arwyn Avalon and Drew from Supreme Heretic on Pegasus Actual Podcast, where we talk my favorite show, Battlestar Galactica.
Woo! All right.
Yes.
Good plug. Good plug.
Well, Brian,
well done.
we
Well
know
done.
plug it up, guys. Thank you for using your plugs wisely and mindfully.
You people know how to plug.
And as a new sub, Nick, you're a great find. Well, thank you, Christian. I appreciate those kind words. Once again, I'll try to do my best to make sure I get awesome human beings on to deliver a fun show, and then hopefully just try to do the damnedest to give solid content so you don't get bored. So anyways, yes, Desperado next week. For yours truly I got Friday Night Comic Shop Talk. We'll be talking The Last Ronin #4. I got the Carcass album review coming this week as well. And I've got a few shorts coming on some new action figure finds coming out. And I'm also going to be unboxing one from a figure that's from 30 years ago as well. So
Nice.
it's gonna be great. So I'm gonna make a lot of people angry with that one. It's gonna be worth it. So they're like, "How dare you?
You can't open it.
Yes, I can.
Open the seal. No.
And I'm gonna do it too. I'm gonna be all in. So it's gonna be glorious. But yeah, that's what I got coming up. And
Do it.
we're going to do our usual outro as we cue the music until we do this again. See you all next week for Desperado, and I'll see you all on another stream or one of my videos or on somewhere else. So, na 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 na.